Good evening, welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Shom. Tonight, as the Aadmi Party holds its first ever national executive to plan its strategy ahead of the general elections, Arvind Kejriwal makes it clear he will not contest the general elections. He's not the prime ministerial candidate. Also joining us, Captain Gopinath, the man who brought low-cost aviation to India, now jumps onto the Aadmi Party bandwagon. On the program this evening, is the Aadmi Party's All India plunge a spoiler for the BJP and for the Congress? That's our big debate. But first, the latest on the collapse of an under-construction building in Kankona in southern Goa. 13 people have died and many more are believed to be trapped under the debris. According to the army, around 100 people are still believed to be trapped. 360 army personnel are working to rescue people from the debris. The incident took place around 3 this afternoon, and police, fire and emergency services immediately rushed to the spot. The Goa Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar was also there this evening. My colleague Tejas Mehta joins us now for the very latest. Tejas, what are you hearing?
Well, about 360 army jawans have been requisitioned by the state government, given the fact that this is a major, tragedy and incident that has taken place in the south of Goa in a place called Kankona. Now, this is the capital of south of Goa in a sense, a regional headquarters. And there, at this point of time, the rescue operations are focusing on trying to, get out at least 100 laborers who are trapped. This was an under construction building. It is about 6 stories high, and it collapsed like a one on top of the other. All the floors becoming like a pancake. And at least 100 people are still missing. 14 people we are being told by police sources and rescue operations who are going on there. The 14 people have been brought out, and they have been, of course, declared dead at this point of time. But the major difficulty, Vishnu, is that south of Goa does not have, the manpower and the infrastructure to deal with this sort of, accidents. Now, most buildings in Goa, I was speaking to somebody, and we also know there are hardly 2 stories tall, and therefore they don't have, enough fire brigades or instruments or machines to, really dig up such huge debris. So therefore, the army has been, called in from Bambolim and from Panjim, where several units are there. 360 troops are at this point of time on the location in South Goa and Kankona, and the attempt, of course, is to save as many lives as possible. 14 people, we are being told at this point of time, have lost their lives. The number is feared will go up as, the operations continue right through the night. Vishnu?
Tejas, thanks very much for joining us with those details. We'll keep tracking the story as and when we get fresh details. But let's quickly move on to the big news story of the day. With general elections just a few months away, there's hardly a moment to waste for the Arvind Kejriwal-led Aadmi Party. Today they held their first national executive meeting to plan strategy, at the end of which it became clear Kejriwal doesn't intend to contest himself, not this time around.
आम आदमी पार्टी लोकसभा चुनाव लड़ेगी, ज्यादातर राज्यों में लड़ेगी, ज्यादा से ज्यादा सीटों पर लड़ेगी.
Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party all set to go national, but Kejriwal himself will remain committed to Delhi. He will not be party's prime ministerial candidate and will not contest the Lok Sabha elections.
नहीं, मैं चुनाव नहीं लड़ रहा और योगेंद्र आदित्य जी का मेरे प्रति प्रेम है कि वो ऐसा कह रहे हैं.
Kejriwal's decision not to project himself as the prime ministerial candidate would be welcome news for the Congress and the BJP. Still stunned at the remarkable performance of the one-year-old party in Delhi, where they have now come to power. Today's decision came at the Aam Aadmi Party's first national executive meet to chalk out party's blueprint for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. The final list of candidates will come out by February 15th.
There'll actually be, there is a 4-way process. This is exactly what we worked on. There will be private bodies and independent agencies actually looking at the candidature.
Amongst the big faces the party plans to field are Mayank Gandhi from Maharashtra, Sanjay Singh from Uttar Pradesh, while senior leader Yogendra Yadav is likely to be its chief ministerial candidate in the assembly elections in Haryana later this year. Aam Aadmi Party leader Kumar Vishwas has already declared that he will contest against Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi in Amethi. More recently, top banker Meera Sanyal, Captain Gopinath, who created Air Deccan, and Infosys board member V. Balakrishnan also joined the Aam Aadmi Party movement.
जो गांव से रिपोर्ट आ रही हैं वो ये दिखा रही हैं कि गांव में भी उतना ही उत्साह है जितना शहरों में है, कहीं-कहीं गांव में ज्यादा उत्साह है.
Riding on the back of their stunning debut in Delhi and by their own assessment of the national mood, the Aam Aadmi Party has decided to take the national plunge and fight Lok Sabha elections from maximum states. Will there be a spoiler for Narendra Modi or Rahul Gandhi will be known only in May. But in the run-up, giving the Aam Aadmi Party a major boost are the not-so-arm, high-profile individuals joining their ranks. In New Delhi with camera person Manjunath, Sonal Mehrotra, NDTV.
So what happens as far as the Aam Aadmi Party's national strategy is concerned? Will they be an effective spoiler to both the Congress Party and the BJP? Joining us now to debate this, Prashant Bhushan, National Executive Member of the Aam Aadmi Party, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, spokesperson of the Congress, Captain Abhimanyu, spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining us, Captain G.R. Gopinath, now a member of the Aam Aadmi Party. He was the founder of Air Deccan, the man who brought low-cost aviation to this country. Thank you all very much for joining us. Mr. Bhushan, if Arvind Kejriwal is not going to be the prime ministerial candidate of the Aam Aadmi Party, then who is?
No, prime ministerial candidate is not important for our party. Our party's basic vision is to run the party on the basis of the wishes of the people. Therefore, who is the minister, who is the prime minister is not so important. Arvind Kejriwal remains the main leader of the party, and therefore the party will certainly be guided by the vision of Arvind Kejriwal and others, and obviously will be run on the basis of the wishes of the citizens of this country.
So, Mr. Bhushan, is
that is not important.
Mr. Bhushan, is it therefore fair to believe that you don't expect to form a government at the centre? You just want to get as many seats as you do, therefore naming a prime ministerial candidate is not worth it?
You see, it's still too early to say whether we can expect to form the government or not, because what we are seeing is an unprecedented upsurge in favor of this party, which is providing not just an alternative face to politics, but an alternative kind of politics in this country. And this is precisely what the people of this country were looking for, were yearning for, but had become despairing and hopeless that they never thought that anything like this could ever happen. But suddenly they have seen that something like this has happened in Delhi, and they are suddenly very hopeful and very enthusiastic that this kind of thing can be replicated in the rest of the country.
So, Mr.
and
Bhushan,
at a national level. Therefore, we are just seeing, we are continuing to see this wave building up. We don't know how far it will go, but therefore it's still too early to say what is going to happen.
But Mr. Bhushan, before the Delhi elections, nobody analysing Delhi would have expected the Aam Aadmi Party to come to power. But you were always very confident that you would get the numbers, and you based that on what Yogendra Yadav had told you, one of India's finest cephalogists, now likely to be someone who's going to contest in Haryana at the level of the assembly. But you must have done your analysis already as far as the national level is concerned. How many seats do you seriously expect to win?
No, it's not possible to do an analysis in such a volatile situation. You see, what is happening is something which nobody could have expected, nobody could have believed. People literally in the lakhs are coming to our offices to join the party. We expect to have a membership drive in which we are hopeful of getting more than 1 crore members of the party within the next month or so. So therefore it's so fluid that it's very difficult to predict as to what will happen. But at the very least, we expect to be able to get at the very minimum 50 seats in the Lok Sabha.
Okay, so that's the first time that we are hearing this. 50 seats at the bare minimum. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, how do you react to that? With 50 seats, they would be a major factor given the fact that people expect a coalition at the centre most likely?
Well, first and foremost, I have said this now ever since the Delhi government was made, that this is definitely an extremely new and in many ways a desirable paradigm in politics. And as they say, whether by success or even by semi-success, or I would go further, even by failure, if they are able to change this paradigm, that is enough credit to the Aam Aadmi Party. And the principal areas of the paradigm where I agree are simplicity, changing this haughtiness and ego in politics, a relatively clean set of faces, not being the distant mountaintop versus valley bottom Raja Praja relationship. These are extremely good paradigms. The jury is still out, the time is still short. They have to sustain it. I think sustenance and persistence over a longer period of time is much more important than a zooming star. And I would certainly wish them good luck if they were able to sustain these paradigms. That's point number one. Point number two, I'm not at all so sure that I'd use the same laudatory adjectives as far as governance is concerned. Governance is complex and tricky. With the best of intentions, the path to hell can be paved with good intentions. You have, just to take one quick example, simply doling out subsidies may be a great thing for a week, for 2 weeks, whether it is a sustainable enterprise, whether it is something with which you can govern for 6 months or a year, whether it is something with which you can balance the budget and not have indirect taxation upon the very same people whom you are trying to help with the subsidy. These are all important issues. When you start grappling with the nitty-gritty of governance, these things stare you in the face.
Okay, so they haven't really
And
spoken about a subsidy scheme for the centre.
Third and last, of course, when you till now I was speaking only of what we have seen. Now the third and last, if you extrapolate from here to the centre,
yes,
I think we are in the realm of the unknown. There are enough examples in political history of India that assembly results are not duplicated, replicated or even broadly followed to the national stage.
Okay.
That is not to say that I am belittling or ignoring them. It's only to say that people have to look upon them, A, as a winner, and B, as somebody who can sustain this thing in terms of governance.
Sir,
now that is up to them to demonstrate that.
So absolutely.
But certainly, it is a paradigm which no party should belittle, ignore or casually dismiss in a dismissive manner. And so I don't think in any manner, as far as my party, Congress is concerned, is doing it.
Very briefly, sir, because I want to go across to my other panelists as well.
Yeah.
Is it a serious concern of the Congress party that you may have a leader like Kumar Vishwas of the Aam Aadmi Party willing to take on, ready to take on Rahul Gandhi?
Look, very briefly, Vishnu, we are, after all, a 128-year-old party. We've seen reverses, but to suggest that there is fear because somebody challenges us, somebody has done well. We've seen 77, we've seen 80, we've seen 81, you've seen 84. So let's not try to make it a an over-excitable situation. Okay. There are many Kumar
So let me not use the word fear. Would you regard Kumar Vishwas as a serious political threat, a challenger to the seat which Rahul Gandhi contests for?
At the moment, the whole of the Aam Aadmi is unproven, untested on the national scene.
Okay.
We take every contender in a parliamentary election as serious. We don't belittle and ignore them. But certainly, I am entitled to say that according to us, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, victory is not only ensured, but the margin of victory will be overwhelming.